China's zero-cost shopping craze, desperate theft surge as citizens steal out of poverty, driving shops owners to the brink. Recent reports suggest that China has fallen into a state of nationwide theft, driving victims and business owners to the brink. Why are you here stealing watermelons? We didn't steal anything. We were just out for a walk and ended up here.
Oh, you were walking? And the watermelons just magically ended up in your car?
You brought your kid along and still try to steal watermelons? What kind of example are you setting as parents? Can you stop taking pictures? You're stealing and telling people not to take pictures.
Come on. Let's see what else you've got in there. Open it up. Don't pretend you don't know. You stole a whole load from me this morning, and now you're still at it. You've stolen loads already. Got caught once before, and you still dare to come back today. Just look at how much stuff you've taken, and you're not even done.
Wow, impressive. That outfit really hides a lot of stuff.
How did you find out? I noticed the beef was missing, but I hadn't even sold a single piece. The pork was gone, and the beef was gone too. Milk powder, potatoes, there's all kinds of stuff. If you're that greedy, just go ahead and eat it. Crying won't help. How many times have you come already? My beef stock can't handle your thieving. You're stealing everything. If this keeps up, you'll be at billions in stolen goods. And I've got it all on camera.
There's still stuff in your pants. Come on, take it all out.
You think we're stupid? Letting you steal from us every day? Call the police. Dial 110.
More videos show that thieves are not picky about their target items. There weren't even spare items worth just a few dollars. These days, there are cameras everywhere. So what are you thinking? Coming to my doorstep at 4 a.m. to steal a flower pot? Sure, it's just one pot, but if I hadn't posted about it, would you be back tonight to take the rest? I'm speechless. Why can't I see the face? She's even looping around. This definitely isn't her first time stealing.
She's stealing screws.
I screwed those in really tight. I thought kids wouldn't do anything like this. Man, kids these days.
She looks around 13 or 14. She's stealing them and hanging them on her bike.
And she's got good taste. She took the one I just bought, brand new. The vlogger who shared the footage also wrote, "It's something very insignificant, but when it gets stolen again and again, it's still infuriating." I don't know if kids this old are stealing because their parents aren't supervising them. Even with surveillance footage and video, I still can't track her down. I was planning to print out the photo and post it all around the neighborhood, but then I thought it would be a waste of time and effort. Maybe the child would stop stealing because of it, but whether it would be psychological pressure on the parents is hard to say. Another vlogger vented that even their cheap little push carts were stolen. In the video comment section, many social media users shared similar experiences. One said, "People no longer value honesty and decency. I bought a 5 yuan pancake and left it in the front basket of my tricycle. I then popped into Yilong Wangjia supermarket to grab a few groceries, and by the time I came out, the pancake was gone." Another person wrote, "Someone even stole a roll of toilet paper I left in my bike basket. Once I had a bottle of water in the back basket of my electric tricycle. They poured the water out beside the bike and took the bottle." Another surveillance video recorded a group of 3 to 5 elderly individuals working together to steal from a convenience store. The thief enters the store sneakily and looking around nervously. She heads straight for the household goods and personal care section, checking out which items might be easy to steal. She goes back and forth, picking things up, putting them down, testing her options. Eventually, she settles on a bar of soap. But first, she looks around to make sure no cameras were watching. "Well, auntie, the camera is right above your head. Missed that, didn't you?" Turns out the soap wasn't easy to steal. It wouldn't fit, or maybe it made too much noise, so she put it back. Then she spots a bar of baby soap. This one looks easier. She goes for it. She removes the outer packaging first, probably to make it quieter when she slips it into her pocket. And just like that, mission accomplished. She even hides the empty wrapper for me. "Auntie, next time, hide it better, okay?" Oh, and she even buys a bottle of water, I guess to throw me off. thoughtful of her. Nowadays, theft among children is becoming more frequent, often due to adults turning a blind eye. In Guangxi, a child was caught stealing in a supermarket. When the shop owner called the parents to resolve the issue, what the parents said shocked everyone's present. Why are you handling like that? He stole something, and our store policy is clear. If you steal, you pay 10 times the item's price. Even if a kid kills someone, they don't get the death penalty. So, what if he stole something? You clearly don't know anything. Kid, do you realize they're just a kid? Not even 14 yet, still a minor. Is this how you deal with kids? Another user posted a video saying that today's thieves are highly skilled, and sometimes the teamwork between them makes it almost impossible to guard against. Earlier, this guy came over and said to me, Miss, there's something stuck on the back of your e bike. Then he pretended to brush it off with his leg. That's when another guy reached over and stole my phone. When I got home, I realized my phone was missing. It hit me right away. Those two were working together to steal my phone. I called the police immediately. In China today, theft is no longer limited to ordinary citizens. Even members of police have joined in. Around January this year, a woman in Shanghai released surveillance footage accusing a local auxiliary police officer of stealing her electric scooter charger. After her police report was rejected, she posted the full video online showing the officer committing the theft. In response, one internet user commented, the crime rate among those in the public security and justice system is far higher than that of regular citizens. In addition to police officers committing thefts themselves, there have also been instances where law enforcement personnel are accused of helping conceal such crimes. On October 22nd, 2024, a tobacco and liquor store owner in Qianjiang New City, Hangzhou, Zhejiang Province reported that 5 months prior, a group of 5 miners broke into her house, stealing over 200,000 yuan, equivalent to about 28,000 US dollars worth of Mao Tai and Wu Liang Yue liquor. After months of waiting, the final outcome was deeply disappointing. The authorities issued a case dismissal notice. The store owner said that the 5 miners treated Hangzhou City as their personal get-rich-quick scheme, committing repeated thefts across multiple districts throughout the year. Even when caught, the most serious punishment they faced was 14 days of detention. Their parents simply brushed off their responsibility by saying, "We don't want the child anymore." With no real consequences, the miner became even more emboldened. For ordinary citizens like the store owner who takes out loans to open a small business, such experiences felt like punishment with no way out. The psychological toll was so severe that she was ultimately forced to transfer ownership of the store. The 200,000 yuan worth of stolen goods has still not been recovered. After posting about the incident on the Chinese social media networking site Red Note, she received a phone call from the police within 20 minutes asking her to delete the post. This led one online commenter to speculate that the missing liquor must be in the hands of the police. If that's the case, is it even possible to ask them to return it? It probably ended up being gifted to their superiors. And the situation doesn't stop with police officers stealing, it gets worse. Some individuals have turned theft into a cross-border operation, repeatedly applying for passports and traveling abroad solely for the purpose of stealing. On February 25th, 2025, a 30-year-old Chinese tour guide, Zhang Youqi, pled guilty to a theft charge in a national court and was convicted. Court documents reveal that on February 4th, Zhang boarded Scoot Airlines flight TR-813 from Jeju Island, South Korea, transiting through Singapore. The victim, a 42-year-old Chinese woman, was seated with her husband in row 11. After boarding, she placed her brown Gucci bag containing US dollars and Chinese yuan in the overhead compartment. Zhang was originally seated in row 11 but moved to row 17 after noticing empty seats. Shortly before landing, the victim opened her bag to pay for food, which caught Zhang's attention. Seizing the opportunity, he retrieved the bag, took the cash, hid it in his coat pocket, and then returned the bag to its original place. The victim noticed something was off and confronted him. Zhang claimed he was searching for his own bag and began opening multiple overhead bins to cover his actions. To avoid suspicion, he later moved the stolen cash to another compartment. Soon after, the victim discovered that her US dollars had vanished. Upon arrival at Singapore Changi Airport, crew members found $885 currency stashed in the overhead compartment above row 15. The money was identified and returned to the victim on the spot. The victim also reported that 1,000 yuan, equivalent to approximately $139 was missing, but was not recovered by police. During the initial investigation, Zhang denied the theft but later confessed, explaining that he had debts in China and hoped to repay them by stealing. During the sentencing hearing, he expressed willingness to accept the punishment but pleaded for leniency due to his father's serious illness and his mother's burden as the sole caregiver. The court ultimately sentenced him to 8 months in prison. As Japan gradually eases its visa requirement, it has become an increasingly popular holiday destination for Chinese tourists. However, with the end of the year approaching, theft cases have also seen a surge. Even Japan hasn't been spared from what some describe as a year-end crime spike. On the morning of December 29th, 2024, around 7 a.m., a theft attempted occurred aboard the Tokaido Shinkansen Nozomi train, which was parked at JR Tokyo Station and had not yet departed. A passenger was caught repeatedly rifling through luggage stored on the overhead racks, allegedly attempting to steal from traveler's bag. Police arrested the suspect on the spot on suspicion of attempted theft. Authorities later confirmed that the suspect, Shen, a 46-year-old Chinese national, was being implicated in a series of similar thefts. According to Tokyo Metropolitan Police, Shen had repeatedly entered and exited Japan, possibly to commit theft-related crimes. An investigation is currently underway. It is believed that Shen's sole purpose for visiting Japan was to steal. Records show that Shen entered Japan on December 27th under a short-term visa and had traveled in and out of the country multiple times. His travel pattern strongly suggests an intent to engage in a criminal activity. An increasing number of incidents involving Chinese nationals spanning theft, traffic violations, and more has promoted growing concerns among Japanese citizens about whether visiting tourists are respecting local laws. Cases like that of Shen, who allegedly entered Japan multiple times with the intent to steal, have heightened fears about repeat offenders threatening the country's public safety and social stability. A surge in crimes involving foreign nationals, combined with Japan's recent relaxation of visa requirements, has triggered growing public discontent. Many Japanese citizens are expressing frustration, accusing the government of poor foresight and inadequate protection of its own people. One internet user commented, "Even on planes, theft involving Chinese passengers are happening. These incidents are bound to rise now that visa conditions have been loosened." Foreign Minister Takeshi Iwaya pushed these policies through parliament, and now it's the public that pays the price. Others warned that easing visa rules for Chinese tourists could pose serious national security risk, especially given Japan's lack of robust anti-espionage framework, which could be exploited by bad actors. Experts say the growing wave of theft cases involving Chinese nationals is deeply rooted in economic hardship, declining moral standards, and systemic governance failures in China. Economic desperation is seen as a key catalyst. Many people are now willing to cross legal boundaries out of financial desperation. Widespread layoffs in traditional manufacturing and service industries, driven by rapid restructuring and technological shifts, have pushed many low and mid-skilled workers to the brink. Burdened by mortgages, car loans, and education debts, and with inflation and rising interest rates piling on further pressure, many are struggling to survive. In this climate, some turn to theft as a desperate but quick return option. As seen in the case of Zhang Youqi, who admitted to stealing to repay personal debts, this behavior is becoming increasingly common. At the same time, China's youth unemployment crisis continues to deepen. Despite a hyper-competitive job market, actual opportunities have significantly decreased. According to China's National Bureau of Statistics, the urban unemployment rate reached 5.5% in 2024. Though many believe the true figure is even higher, in major cities, rent alone can consume up to 40% of a young person's income. As job openings dry up and hiring standards climb, some young people are taking extreme measures, viewing theft as a form of zero-cost entrepreneurship, where the risk is low, but the payoff can be high. Meanwhile, the widening gap between urban and rural regions, especially between the eastern coast and interior provinces, have worsened economic disparities. Migrant workers from the countryside often failed to integrate into the city life to access stable employment, instead resorting to gig jobs or delivery work. For middle-aged adults weighed down by online loan and credit card debt, theft may seem like the quickest route to financial recovery. Lastly, the collapse of China's platform economy and ongoing financing difficulties for small and micro businesses have made it even harder for ordinary people to access legal financial assistance. When crowdfunding and microloans become unrealistic options, those living in remote areas or recently laid off workers who lack market based safety nets may resort to theft as a final straw to survive. All of these factors have contributed to a dangerous mindset that rapidly spreading across China's lower class. If there's no money, just steal a little bit to get by. The Chinese Communist Party's governance model has also in many ways created a breeding ground for theft. Rigid household registration system and the dual urban-rural structure prevent large segments of the population from integrating into city life. Under mounting pressure, some are pushed towards criminal behavior. At the same time, a lack of transparency in the judicial system and the absence of effective social safety nets have further deepened people's sense of hopelessness. According to a 2024 report from the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences, more than 60% of respondents believed that social fairness is deteriorating, creating fertile ground for crimes like theft. What's even more ironic is the stark contrast between the CCP's international public image and the domestic disorder under its rule. On one hand, the CCP builds its image as a responsible global power through the Belt and Road Initiative and foreign aid projects. On the other hand, within China, social unrest and economic struggles are pushing ordinary people towards criminal behavior and even exporting these problems overseas. The case of Shen is a prime example. Entering Japan on a tourist visa to commit theft, incidents like this not only damage the reputation of Chinese travelers, but also prompt skepticism towards China-related visa policies in Japan. Furthermore, a decline in moral values have made theft appear more justifiable in the public eye. On Chinese social media, flaunting luxury goods and the rise of consumerist values have triggered widespread anxiety about income inequality. At the same time, live stream shopping, viral discount hunting, and bargain tricks have blurred the lines between legal savings and unethical gain, fueling a gray area mindset of taking advantage where you can. When theft is trivialized into comedy via video comments and live streams, the social stigma around stealing begins to fade, and the psychological barrier to theft erodes. In some online spaces, theft is even rebranded as a survival strategy or social protest. Phrases like $0 shopping and stealing from the rich isn't stealing are gaining traction. This moral collapse not only removes shame from criminal behavior, it threatens the very foundation of social trust. Finally, gaps in social management have provided fertile ground for theft to flourish. Take the Singapore incident, where poor oversight of luggage compartments allowed Zhang Youqi to take advantage. In China, problems with managing the country's large floating population are just as prominent. Many migrant workers lack stable employment and housing, and some are absorbed into organized theft networks, becoming links in a larger criminal chain. From sentencing standards to law enforcement coordination, the current legal system's ability to deter petty property crimes is steadily weakening. Juveniles often face no consequences, with cases dismissed under child protection laws. Some parents evade responsibility by simply declaring that they've given up on their child. Adult offenders involved in low-value thefts are often released after brief detention, only to reoffend shortly thereafter. As cases multiply, internet users say public frustration is reaching a tipping point. Shop owners feel devastated, citizens are losing faith, and trust in the government is beginning to crumble. But perhaps most heartbreaking, many say, is watching ordinary people, once considered honest, resort to theft. What's being stolen isn't just cash or goods, it's the trust that holds communities and societies together.